Everyone. My name is Schroeder. I'm an INDS major with a concentration of music composition and world culture. The title of my capstone project is Cultural Understanding Through Explorations of Music, Getting Along. Now, you come out here because I want y'all to do something for me. I need you to move at least 3 inches away from where you are. Give yourself some room. I'm going to have y'all do an activity with me. What I want you to do is called call and response. It's a musical term. I'm going to clap a rhythm to a beat, and then you're going to regurgitate that and do the same thing back to me, okay? So we're going to establish a rhythm. Here we go. You can stop your feet too. Here we go. Okay, you got it. So why did we do that? It was a way to get along. We were all doing the same thing at the same time, and it involved everyone. Everyone was included. Nobody was included, and it also woke us up. So being a musician and having this musician's mentality, I thought, well, how do we understand each other through music? How can we do that? And how can we explore music as well as arts, as well as education? And I picked education too because I'm not a professional teacher, but I consider myself an educator. I have taught Sunday school and church, and I've had an opportunity to teach GED to 15 and 23-year-olds. I've also taken a course on campus that requires us once a week to go to a local elementary school and teach after-school activities. So I'm kind of aware of the classroom and of the younger generation, and I thought it would be a good opportunity because sometimes kids, they get taught the same subject every single day, and us as IDS students, we get to pick what we want to study and enjoy it, but sometimes they don't. So in what way can we as teachers, or we as educators, can make the classroom more exciting, everybody can do it. And that's the problem that I picked up, is because everybody loves music, some type of music. At the church on Sundays when I play the organ, all the kids run up and just want to play or play the drums or the percussions. But what about the subjects? What about their education? What are you kids learning in school? So I thought I might use those two together and create a workshop of music and arts education. I wanted to do a couple of different subjects. This one in particular is a subset of English, which is words and phonetics, imitating sounds, the parts of the mouth, where the sound comes out of each mouth, what words that can be used that imitate certain things, or imitate sounds, or implicate what we feel at a certain moment. And also, I can teach musical concepts, such as what we did is rhythm and dynamics, is how soft or how loud I speak, and as well as tempo, how tempo, like a slow tempo can be, tired or weary, or a fast tempo can be angry or something like that. How can we use all that to have such a way that kids can relate to each other, can culturally understand? Now I'm going to use this program outline to kind of break down into interdisciplinary studies that I've researched. Now, to break this down, I broke it down into 4 main disciplines. The first one is anthropology. Now, I've heard, if you heard it in another presentation, that it doesn't have to really do with ethnicities, but it's a group of people who have their sort of set of cultures and values and norms and the way they think and the way they do. Dispersions of expressions of culture as well as innovations. The other is art and art history. It's reproducible and reproducible works of art such as poetry, photography, dance, and music. In education, I'm using the means of education. And education is, of course, is instructions on subjects like social studies, and also there's a reflection of the knowledge that you learn, such as exams. And the last one is music, which is the progress and assessment of creative works of sound, because the children, as a result of learning these things, they're going to use these tools in order to create works of sound, like maybe a rap or a chant or maybe a spoken word piece. Now, to explain onto the way of action, I used anthropology because in order to create the works of sound, they had to make some cognitive decisions about what they want to express about themselves. And the action is the music and the art. And the education is also with the explanation, but the music and the art is a way to express themselves, and the action that I chose to do was for them to kind of get together where they could work individually and to demonstrate how they learn these tools. And also building complex and multi-causal explanations is using the viewpoints of the disciplines in order to give an explanation of the workshop. And there's a compound concept that's already in existence, but it's called ethnomusicology. It's broken down into music plus culture plus art. Now, what I've done, the methodologies that I've taken was interviews with music and art teachers, and I've done also class observations. The literature research, the academic research that I've done, I looked into what's kind of new is a teaching artist journal, and what a teaching artist is a professional artist or a professional dancer who's in their craft, but they've taken educational aspects into the classroom, allowing the students to understand different aspects, or to understand math through dance, or to understand social studies or culture through music, things like that. Also, I've looked online. Dennis Baker, he's a teaching artist, and he has certain sample art music integration lessons online that I've used as a template. And also, there are organizations that has very reputable websites, Young Audiences, which has a branch in Baltimore, Association for Teaching Artists, and the Silk Road Project, in which Yo-Yo Ma, a famous international musician, is a part of. And also with personal experience, like I said before, I'm a musician, and I'm also considered an educator. What did I find, and what conclusion did I find with getting along in this program? Number one, it's fun. It's fun in the classroom. You can learn, as well as interpersonal, intrapersonal communication, how we can get along with each other, how can I understand you, how can you understand me through music and arts. And also with Howard Gardner, he's a very well-known psychologist, and he wrote a book called Frames of Mind, Different Intelligences. They can become like a different data bank for which to know the world. And also the role of music arts in non-academic and academic fields, in different fields, social studies, math, things like that. So it becomes a necessity. And this is sort of a bibliography that helped me with the presentation. And my limitations and future endeavors. I really would like to take this into classroom and be affiliated. I have music friends, so I can talk to them and maybe figure out how we can make the classroom more exciting for them, the aspects of culture that they need, and also I plan on going to graduate school for arts and education. And I do plan on being affiliated with these associations, Young Audiences, Teaching Artists. They have wonderful, wonderful programs in Kennedy Center.
Yeah, I'm also interested in doing like something similar, and I was wondering, did you see any implications for other like artistic things besides music?
Well, I've looked on a website that University of California in Montalvo, or how to pronounce it, but they actually have a workshop with different artists doing dance, how to incorporate dance into, like I said, math, or in my case, music or photography. There's lots of different ways you can learn other subjects through the concept of art and music. It's definitely a different way of knowing.
Did any of your experiences or research lead you to any ideas about how this could be applied in special needs children or autistic children?
Definitely. I've worked with handicapped and foster children before, and we used to teach them songs and things like On the Road, or just different types of little children's songs, and they enjoy it too. They really do. They really like music, and they really like being creative, you know, because sometimes they're teased or things like that. So that's an outlet for them too.
Have you looked at any assessment models? That is to say, learning mathematics without the music or without the dance and the arts, and learning mathematics in a traditional way?
Well, in my academic research, I've read that from other people's experience as teaching artists. I haven't personally interviewed them, but
But I would think the way that the educational system is designed, accountability matters big time. So that if you make a future, a career of this, and I hope you do, and you're obviously very good, you have a lot to offer, that you find a way to assess it and find out what works and what doesn't work and how much better it might work, so
Right.
that you can use that toward getting grants and other kinds of opportunities.
right. I
And-
guess.
I mean, I'm going on the assumption that it does enhance learning, but we don't know that.
Right. I guess and there's this book that I read called Music Artist Teaching Bible that even gave advice about like doing it in classrooms and doing it over again and over again, and then the different levels, the grade levels, you have to adjust to that. So it's another experience that you have to encounter, you know, by actually doing it. And then if it's not successful, then you have to assess your lesson plan for that.
Project Zero did a lot of research on that, especially 10 years ago, with questions such as, does studying music raise math scores? So you have to kind of unpack Patricia's question in terms of what do we think it's important to assess? What are we assessing? And is it fair to judge the arts in terms of whether they should or should not raise test scores in some other area? So there's a lot of debate, and it's very interesting about how we should assess the value of the arts in schools. Which brings me to my question. What challenges did some of the people, it sounds great. Yes, art should be in schools. So do you think they are in schools sufficiently? Should they be in schools more? What challenges do your music educator contacts or your literature express?
Well, one interview that I conducted, the teacher said, he's teaching music, and they're like instruments sitting on the side, and they just sit on the side. You know, they don't really like use it, or, you know, play the tambourine or whatever. I mean, he teaches musical concepts, but the actual, you know, the instrumental playing and all that, it's really not done.
Why not?
I don't know, maybe his personal curriculum, he really didn't tell me exactly why, but I had noticed that there is no actual instrumental use, but they do choral singing, which is fine, but there's a you know, children have all this energy and they need, you know, to get all this energy out in some way.